Money's very, very simple game. Money and attention are almost identical formulas. I have to get attention. You gave me the opportunity to sit down with you so I get attention. Now I have to keep the audience's attention. And then when you post it on and you distribute it, it needs to multiply itself. Money's the same thing. I got to get money. I got to keep it stored someplace. Saving it doesn't keep it because it's going down in value. And then I have to figure out how to multiply the money because if I don't multiply it, I can't keep it.
We're live here with Grant Cardone. Grant, you just made this huge announcement. You kind of want to do like the strategy to real estate investors. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're using real estate, which is a very adopted, very well accepted 2,000-year-old asset that everybody would like to be invested in, but nobody wants to manage. Everybody has a use for real estate. Most people understand real estate. A lot of these Bitcoin people would love to have exposure to the real estate, the depreciation, the appreciation, and the tax write-offs. So what we're doing is we're using a vehicle, real estate, that's adopted, that it's accepted, and then we basically add Bitcoin to the purchase. So we would take, this is our real estate, right? And we're going to add, this is our real estate, and this is our Bitcoin. So let's say this is $100 million of real estate. We're going to take and cap it off with $15 million of Bitcoin. We're going to close them together in a fund. It will still cash flow, and each month out of the cash flow, we'll add Bitcoin. We'll use the cash flow to buy more Bitcoin. So at the point, in 4 or 5 years, the cap, Bitcoin, should be as big as the real estate, but we didn't buy the Bitcoin.
So it's going to be like real estate backed by Bitcoin?
No, it's going to be real estate merged with Bitcoin. Okay, so basically our real estate's having a baby, cash flow.
Okay.
And the cash flow, rather than keeping cash or paying back our investors, we take and redistribute that to purchase Bitcoin. We dollar cost average every month. Basically, our renters are buying the investors in the building Bitcoin. So what's better than Bitcoin? You know, Michael Saylor says there's no second best. I said, Michael, the best Bitcoin is Bitcoin I didn't have to buy and somebody else gave it to me.
That is very true. Okay. You see him, he's purchasing it with the bonds.
Yeah, exactly. So. And that's what we're doing here. We're basically, I'm not a public company. Otherwise, I'm reversing Michael Saylor's model. I'm using real estate, institutional quality real estate in unbelievable locations to purchase the Bitcoin, still cash flows. We have no debt on either one of them. And then over long periods of time, we started with an 85-15, and then 4 years, it'll be an 70-30. And then by year 5, it should be a 50-50. 50% real estate, 50% Bitcoin. We can borrow against both of them. Both of them are going to go up over long periods of time. So we think we get the best of both worlds. But most importantly, I am going to onboard people into Bitcoin that don't know anything about Bitcoin, don't want to learn about Bitcoin, don't want to read the book, don't want to know anything, don't want to know what cold storage or self-custody, or they don't want to know any of that. They just want to know, I have real estate and I can't lose my money. And you added this other thing I don't understand, and maybe I win, maybe I don't.
But this is not the first time that you actually mix real estate with Bitcoin. You actually sold the house with Bitcoin back in Miami.
Yeah, we didn't sell the house, but we did advertise the house, okay? I actually put it back on and ran another ad this week. I'll take 450 Bitcoin for my house in Golden Beach, right? It's a great drag. Like, Bitcoin is a shiny, it's why there's so many people here, right? It's an exciting reference to the gold rush, very exciting. But remember what Kanye says, all that glimmers is not gold.
That's funny you mentioned you're not the first person that compares Bitcoin to that gold rush.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Do you think it's just going to be like how it happened? Like, you know how history has a tendency to repeat itself. Is that going to happen with Bitcoin, or do you see it more?
Yeah, I think a couple of things that are happening. One, it's exciting to see people moving toward wealth creation as opposed to just being settled and try to be comfortable in the middle class, which is a mythology. There is no comfort that actually provides protection. The moment you become comfortable, you're probably at risk of having everything taken away from you. So it's exciting to see people striving for wealth. I just get a little concerned that it's like, bang, this shit's happening overnight, and I'm going to have wealth, and maybe Maybe, but not likely. Okay, because if you study wealth over long periods of time, that's not how it's created for most people. I mean, there's only a handful of ways to create wealth. One, you inherit it. I met a guy that inherited 400 hotels. Good for him. You could marry it. By the way, his wife married him, so she has access to it now. There's prices to both of those. Just because you inherit something doesn't mean you know anything. And just because you marry it doesn't mean you know anything. The third way is to work hard, and then at least you're building competence. The fourth way is to buy it. You would basically invest in something. And the fifth way is you would build something and take it public. And that's the fifth one's going to take a lot longer, but it's going to give you confidence, trust in yourself. You're going to know what you're doing. You can control your destiny. I'm not sure that I think some people are coming because of this wave, and this wave is like, it's going to suck everybody up. Maybe, but that's not what history says.
Well, that's funny you mentioned that, because there is this theory that if you give everybody the same amount of money, like $1 million to the whole world, the same people that are rich are still going to be rich, and the same people that are poor are still going to be poor.
I absolutely agree with this. And like every time they print money, another analogy to that is when the federal government starts printing money, or the Fed starts printing money. I get excited because everybody else is like, oh my God, they're printing again. And I said, yeah, and I'm gonna get it because I know how to get it and I know how to keep it. And Bitcoin and real estate allow me to know how to multiply. And so I think a lot of people, they don't understand how to do the first part. Money's very, very simple game. It's money and attention are almost identical formulas. You have to get it. I have to get attention. You gave me the opportunity to sit down with you so I get attention. Now I have to keep the audience's attention. And then when you post it on and you distribute it, it needs to multiply itself. If it's a boring interview, if it doesn't have some stuff in it, then it's not going to get multiplied. Money's the same thing. I got to get money. I got to keep it, store it someplace. Okay, saving it doesn't keep it because it's going down in value. And then I have to figure out how to multiply the money, because if I don't multiply it, I can't keep it.
So how do you get it? How do you keep it? And you just said Bitcoin is to multiply it. How would you do the first two?
Yeah, so the first two is, you have to look at who has my money. Like money's a people target. It's not an idea. It's not, oh, I need to come up with an idea. Everybody here's coming up with ideas and they're dropping out the part about the people. For an idea to work, you need people. And you need to be able to communicate with people. A lady came up to me yesterday. She says, here's my card, come to my booth. I'm like, okay.
You go to the booth?
No. Another guy says, I'm working, like you got to learn how to communicate with people, right? So if you can't communicate with people, the greatest idea in the world is not going to work. And I think some people are thinking that they're going to get in the right vehicle and they dropped out the people part. So how do you get money? You got to understand there's no shortage, plenty of people. You got to talk to people about money. There's no shortage of the money. There's a shortage of people going for it. Then I got to get that person's attention. I don't need the money myself. Then I have to keep their attention and give them some reason to exchange money with me. Like you're exchanging money with me right now. You just don't know you are, okay? Because you're exchanging attention with me. It's my job to convert it and make sure it comes full circle so that people actually want to fund a project that I'm involved in. And so rather than going to the institutions, what I did was I just used my audience on social media. I have about 20 million people that follow me between Instagram and TikTok. And I communicate, I provide education to those people. Some people like what I say, some people don't like it, but they all talk about it. In fact, the people that don't like it talk about it more than the people that do like it. Okay, so I love my haters. Please keep hating. You haters are everything to me, okay? I would not be who I am without the haters. But I'm exchanging information, and some tiny percentage of all the people that I talk to actually want to invest or do partnerships with me.
It's funny you mentioned that because you just tweeted that. No, they copy you. No, they talk shit.
First they ignored me. First they ignored me. Okay. And then they rejected me. Basically, they criticize, then they reject, then they try to, basically demonize you, real hate. And then later they take a knee.
And then they copy you.
Yeah, then they copy you.
So I want to take it back to like the middle class because they're getting kind of crushed by inflation and taxes. If someone's starting out with nothing today, what assets should they be stacking first?
Well, you should be stacking fiat. You should be grabbing other people's fiat as fast as you can, converting whatever possessions you have to fiat, and then figure out, okay, I have fiat. That's not going away, by the way. All you maxis out here think the U.S. dollar's going away. It's not going anyplace, okay? Bitcoin is not going to replace every asset class on planet Earth. I would go get the fiat as much as you can on a daily. Trade something, some service, you have, an old bicycle you're not using, get fiat and take the fiat and convert to something else, okay? Now, if I'm on the come up, I'm 20 years old and I don't have any money, I'm gonna convert it to something that produces more money. Unfortunately, Bitcoin does not produce cash flow. So now my brother's gonna be like, oh, I would convert the fiat to Bitcoin every time. Okay, but that's probably not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go buy real estate. I'm gonna use the cash flow from the real estate to produce a little tiny Bitcoin. And I'm gonna repeat that process over and over so that 4 years, 8 years, 12 years from now, I own real estate and Bitcoin. Now, I don't know which one of us is gonna be more right. My brother could be more right because he just went out and bought Bitcoin. But I need to pay bills every month. And the problem with the analogy, I'm gonna go get fiat, buy Bitcoin. How do I eat? If I used all the fiat I got to buy Bitcoin, how do I eat in between? And the cash flow will allow me to eat. And so at least I end up with one asset class. I'm not saying I'm right. I don't know the right way for people. I know the right way for me.
You called for a financial awakening and a new kind of patriotism. How does Bitcoin fit into that vision of America's future?
Well, I think Bitcoin is it's a new technology where I can store money that I know over long periods of time because of the limited quantity of it and the destruction of what is the fiat system, that should propel the value of Bitcoin upward over time. This is why I love real estate again, because you just can't build it. Like it's very difficult to build concrete, glass, and steel in a great location in Brickell. Now, they come with a bunch of problems. But if you can figure out how to combine the two, okay, and have the lift of the Bitcoin over long periods of time, the real estate lift, people have to live someplace. So, look, I'm here at the Bitcoin conference. How can I not be optimistic about Bitcoin?
Oh, exactly.
I'm not wearing orange, but and you're not either.
Orange is not my color, fam.
Right.
But what's interesting is I've talked to like Michael Saylor, and he's mentioned how Bitcoin will last 500 years, but concrete won't. These concrete buildings that you're talking about, they're not going to be around for 500 years.
Yeah.
So like, what's the game
plan?
No,
the pyramids are making more money today, okay? The Vatican's worth more money today. The Catholic Church owns more real estate on planet Earth than any other organization. 500 years from now, you will seek shelter, and it will not be in a Bitcoin.
So you are the GOAT of sales. What is your Bitcoin sales pitch? Even though you're not a Bitcoin maxi, but
yeah, my Bitcoin sales pitch is this: if I give it to you for free, would you want it?
If you're giving it to me,
I'm giving it to you.
I'll take it.
Good. That's what I'm doing with real estate. I'm buying real estate. The real estate buys the Bitcoin, and you get to have access to the Bitcoin. Now, you don't have to have access to it. You put 200 grand in the fund.
And who's going to keep the Bitcoin?
I am.
Okay.
Because I know what I'm doing, and you don't.
But will your investors ever get access to that Bitcoin?
When we sell it, or when we put a mortgage on it.
Okay.
I don't make any money until we sell something.
Okay.
So I don't get a promote on the investment. You take fiat, you put it in the deal. The deal then buys the Bitcoin. We put the two together. I'm gonna take it to the public markets, and it's probably gonna get a 2 or 3 multiple. At that point, you can sell your shares anytime you want to.
And what would you say?
That's my pitch on Bitcoin. If I gave it to you, would you want it? Would you need to learn about it?
I would take it and learn from it.
Exactly. You would take it and you would watch it. The most important thing I did, somebody offered me work and they couldn't pay me money. And I said, no problem. I appreciate the work. The fact that you want to offer me work was a great gift. They wanted to offer me an audience to speak to. I said, okay, how can you pay me? They said, we can't pay you in money. We can pay you in Bitcoin. I don't know what Bitcoin is. I think it was $486 at the time. And they gave me 100 and whatever the number was. I said, now tell me, where do I put it? How do I keep it? Then I had to figure that out. But I earned, and then I learned.
Earn
it, baby, then learn it.
Yeah, I like that. That's amazing.
See the way the Bitcoin people, Michael Saylor wants me to learn it and then do it. And I'm like, bro, nobody.
Well, that's what the Bitcoin ethos is. That people are like, study Bitcoin and then do it. But I like that way. Do some work.
Maybe. But that's not, Vanguard didn't get big because they say go learn shit. Pornography doesn't work by saying, hey, go learn about pornography and then come watch it. They just go watch it. Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, they didn't force you to learn something. There was no adopting phase. There was no onboarding for Facebook and Instagram. It was just like, bang, this shit's simple. Oh my God, I'm looking at a bouncing bear, right? I'm getting fed content. Oh, there's Grant Cardone's videos, right? So there was no onboarding process. On the greatest technologies that have existed, you have to bypass onboarding. Visa, MasterCard, a bank account, a savings account. There's no onboarding. It's like, drop your money in. We're here. Come get your money when you don't need it or do need it.
That's some real truth bomb. Speaking of that, what would you say your hottest take on Bitcoin is?
My hottest take?
Yeah, on Bitcoin.
I think I am going to onboard more people. Like our first 4 funds, 80% of the people that came into our funds have no exposure to Bitcoin, don't know anything about it, haven't bought any, know what it is. They know kind of what it is. They wanted nothing to do with it. They weren't trying to learn about it. They're not coming into rooms. They're not coming to a conference. They don't even know a conference is going on. I'm showing them real estate. This is institutional quality, unbelievable real estate. And all we do is add a little 15%. It doesn't affect our cash flow. The property still works. They have exposure to the real estate and exposure to this tiny piece of Bitcoin. So I got a buddy, he's 84 years old. He's like, I'll give you I'll put $15 million in your fund. Another guy, $10 million in a fund. They have zero exposure to either my real estate or the Bitcoin. But when I blended the two together, okay, it was like a nice little, okay, I get a combination of things. And I didn't have to explain anything to them. So, I don't know, that's my, Now, Michael Saylor is going to tell me I'm a pussy. Literally called me that.
But at the same time, you're a realist.
I met him.
Yeah.
I met him in January. By April, February, March, April. By May, I had 4 deals done, $300 million and about $50 million worth of Bitcoin. So, Michael, if you're watching, yeah, I'm a pussy. But I'm moving fast.